When I say one-hit kill enemies, what do you think of first in video games? Usually a video game will give you a bit of wiggle room with certain enemies. Unfortunately, these didn't get the memo. Welcome to Chaos Gaming, everybody. Today we're going to get salty with some very extremely frustrating one-hit kill enemies in gaming history. Guys, make sure you have your notifications turned fully on so you never miss an upload. I know you got frustrated with these. Let us know. At first, well, at last, number 10, whatever you want to call it, the tank in Left 4 Dead. Yep, an enemy we all know and probably don't love. The tank, it's kind of a mini-boss in both Left 4 Dead games, and he's known for barging through your walls like the Kool-Aid Man and instantly downing you. As you'd expect, the tank can also soak up damage while he charges you and throws you across the room, forcing you to, impotently use your pistol at his ankles while he messes up the rest of your team. Now, the tank is super tough to kill without coordination with your team, and his one-hit kill potential is more than enough to get him a spot on today's list. He always comes at the worst times, too. You think everything's good, everything's peachy, and then you hear him barging down the alley on his way to ruin you and your team's entire night. Guys, do me a favor. Make sure you're subbed with those notifications on. The channel is growing. It's because of you guys. We're having a good time. Next up, the Xenomorph in Alien Isolation. One of the best horror games of the decade. Made waves for its terrifying main villain. The Xenomorph stalks you throughout the game, and its AI is extremely tough to deal with at times. Follows you around, tracks you through sound and movement, and if it gets its hands on you, or whatever they're called, it's an insta-kill. The Xenomorph is one of the scariest horror game enemies ever made, and the amount of tension that it brings, well, it's deserving of a spot on today's list. How many times did you get screwed over by a Xenomorph? But we're just at number 9. It's going to get way, way better. Starting with the clickers in The Last of Us. I hated these things. I mean, I remember one spot in some dark room I don't remember where we were, but it took me like 10 times to get through it. The Last of Us has a few different kind of infected enemies, but the clickers are probably the most terrifying and most intimidating. They're a third stage infected that appears rather human, but with some gross deformities. They have potential to instantly grapple you, and if you fail to break their grip, it's game over. You're starting over. Some clickers can even go into berserk mode, which makes them immune to melee attacks, posing even more of a threat. The Last of Us can usually be played by charging right at enemies and overpowering them, but if a clicker is on the field, you have to play the game at their pace, because one wrong move can send you back to the last checkpoint. Next up, let's go way, way back. Way back! Some of you probably never even played this game. Spikes in Mega Man. Look, I know, the spikes aren't technically an enemy, but due to their reputation, here they are. Spikes have appeared in almost every Mega Man game, and for whatever reason, they're an insta-kill whenever they appear. And not just the spiky part of the spike, people. If you brush up against the side of a spike, you instantly die, which makes no sense. If you have full health and bump into a spike, you instantly die, which makes no sense. The Mega Man games are meant to be pretty insane as a challenge. Spikes, they certainly keep that design philosophy alive. Now, some Mega Man games are more forgiving than others with the damage done, but most of you probably know the insta-kill spikes I'm talking about here, and for that, here they are. Seriously, screw the Mega Man spikes. Seriously. Next up, Big Cheep Cheep in Super Mario. Also known as the Boss Bass, the Big Cheep Cheeps are some of the toughest enemies in any Mario game. Now, normally, Mario games operate on a pretty simple health system. You got Small Mario, you've got Big Mario, you got Fireball Mario, you've got Raccoon Mario, Frog Mario. If you get hit by an enemy, you revert back to the previous one. It's simple. Everybody here has played a Mario game. Well, the Big Cheep Cheeps are some of the only enemies that can actually bypass that hierarchy and insta-kill you regardless of your current Mario status. In Super Mario 3, they were one of the most obnoxious parts of the entire game. Thankfully, they can still be defeated with a fireball, but if you're playing a Mario game, seriously, be careful when a Big Cheep Cheep is on the screen, because if you slip up, they will swallow you up and spit you out at the beginning of the level. Now we've reached number 5. The Witch in Left 4 Dead. One of the most terrifying enemies in any video game. The Witch can stop a full team dead in their tracks. It's a rare enemy type that spawns at random in each level. Sometimes you'll get multiple witches, and sometimes you'll get none. But if she decides to pop up, you better watch your step. The Witch will mind her own business at first, but if you startle her, she will jump up and charge at whoever did the deed. If she gets her hands on you, you are almost down instantly, and the Witch soaks up damage. Do not be the one on the team to startle the Witch. Now let's move over to Halo, the Halo universe, specifically the Sniper Jackals in Halo 2, the dreaded Sniper Jackal. Say it 3 times fast. Halo 2 was rushed through development, resulting in a lot of corners being cut with the enemy AI. This resulted in one of the most frustrating enemies in gaming history. The Sniper Jackals, they have insane reaction time, making them one of the most deadly enemies in the entire game, especially on Legendary mode. If you're playing Halo 2 on Legendary, you're a boss. The Sniper Jackals will kill you the second you enter their zip code, and they're one of the main reasons why the game was so hard. Even if you know where every single Jackal is, they will almost insta-kill you if you expose yourself for even a split second. Seriously, screw the Sniper Jackals, and like I said, screw Mega Man's Spike so far. Let's stick with Halo. The Sword Elites in Halo. Halo Combat Evolved, whatever, any Halo. One more entry. The Sword Elites are probably some of the most intimidating enemies in FPS history. When you hear the crack of that sword, usually not too hard to take down, but when they've got an energy sword in their hands, things get tense. They will often beeline straight towards you because they have an energy sword in their hand, and once they're close enough, they'll slice straight through you with a single hit. Nothing is worse than, really running through tight quarters, turning the corner, hearing that crack, and then getting insta-killed by a Sword Elite who is just waiting there for you. You may not even hear the crack. I don't know. Maybe you see the Elite running straight towards you and you start unloading him, but not enough to take him down before he shoves the sword through your brain. Halo has some tough enemies, but the Sword Elites are probably one of the hardest to deal with. At number 2 today, everything in Titan Souls. Yep, Titan Souls is a very underrated game developed by Acid Nerve and published by Devolver Digital in 2015. It's a top-down action game that's been described as a 2D, reinterpretation of Shadow of the Colossus. He plays an adventurer who has to go do battle with 19 giant monsters. I don't know why 19, but 19. The twist? Everything in the game is an insta-kill from both sides of the aisle. This means you can walk into a boss arena, kill them instantly, but it also means every Titan can kill you if you slip up. Very tough game, but also super gratifying to do a perfect run, killing every Titan in one hit, each all without taking a single point of damage because, like I said, a single point of damage, and your turn's over. It's a great experience if you're a fan of boss rush games and super tense battles. Just remember, do not get hit. And at number 1 today, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you. Everything in Hotline Miami. This is one of the hardest games to come out in the last decade, but that's part of the appeal. It's a pixelated top-down shooter with an extremely fast-paced, gruesome combat and a gameplay loop that's all about trial and error. Almost every enemy in the game is capable of killing you with a single hit, but then you can restart the level with a single button push. No cutscene, no loading screen, just jumping right back to the start, reset, give it another go. Hotline Miami received critical acclaim, and many call it one of Devolver Digital's best products of all time. If you like ultra fast-paced and super difficult games, give Hotline Miami a try. Just be prepared to die a lot. And there you have it. Those are 10 super frustrating one-hit kill enemies. Let me know one enemy that was deserving of being on this list that did not make it, and I'll see you guys soon.